Is up, everybody? Okay, so a lot of buzz on the internet about the movie Annie and the Target advertisement for their collection for Annie. Now, here's the problem with the movie Annie. For those of you who know the classic comic strip and even the classic movie musical Annie, you would know that she's a little white red-headed girl adopted by an older white man who's bald, right? And then there was a remake in the 90s which people refused to recognize. All right? So now all of a sudden out of nowhere comes a new movie, because even while it was on Broadway, when Nell Carter played Miss Hannigan, more power to it. Nell Carter is a classic, was a classic actress. God rest her. Phenomenal actress, very very funny, and I guess and from what I understand, a pretty powerful singer. So more power to her playing Miss Hannigan. I, honest to God, like considering who was originally Miss Hannigan, it was like how could you possibly top that? So Nell Carter, all right, no offense, but it's definitely definitely great choice at that time. Like I said, God rest her. But then you got this movie where you replace a little redhead girl with a black girl with no red hair. Now, I know this is perfectly possible that there are black people that are natural redheads. Malcolm X was a natural redhead. This girl was not. Then on top of that, Daddy Warbucks was Jamie Foxx. I don't have a problem with him being I don't have a problem with him being Daddy Warbucks. In fact, he would have been as good an actor as he is. He's a better Daddy Warbucks than anybody else that ever played him. Why wasn't he bald? Don't get it. What would have made it better was that first off, you have Cameron Diaz as Miss Hannigan. Cameron Diaz can't sing. The woman could barely dance. She's not that pretty. She's a good actress, but she's not that pretty, and she's no Miss Hannigan. Are you kidding me? Then a foster home. I understand foster homes are pretty bad, but there are still orphanages around, especially in New York. There's plenty of places still just like the original Annie that's around today. So why a foster home? Made absolutely no sense. Then what would have made it better? Because especially black people. A lot of black people are like, oh yeah, why can't they be black? It's like, well, when a white character is changed to black, why can't they be black? Because then when they change black characters into white, you get offended. Prime example, Wanted. The character that Angelina Jolie played in the comic book. Keep in mind, this is also done by Mark Millar. Mark Millar, who did the Ultimates. The Ultimates having the Nick Fury that was basically Shaft with an eye patch, looked like who looked like Samuel L. Jackson, which is the only reason why comic book fans, Marvel fans, Avenger fans even tolerate Sam Jackson in the movies. They don't like the fact that they changed it. Black people, okay, black comic book fans hate the fact that they made it this cockamamie excuse to replace the classic Nick Fury with a new black one. They hate the fact that every other Marvel media, whether it be the comic books or any other cartoons, Nick Fury's changed to black all of a sudden. There's no reason for that. Now, going back to Wanted, Mark Millar having, I guess, the same artist, the character that Angelina Jolie played. If anybody ever read the comic book, or even tried looking at it, you would know that the woman was modeled after Halle Berry. That's right. The character she was supposed to be black. Nobody said anything about it. The part that Morgan Freeman was supposed to be white. They race swapped on these. No one said any, no one said anything about that. What else? Spawn. His best friend is supposed to be black. Made him white. Nobody complained about that. You know? But when Target has their little Annie collection, and Annie, classic Annie, being a little white redheaded girl, and they have it, a white redheaded girl representing their Annie collection, because that was always iconic about Annie, all of a sudden, Target's racist. People need to get off of their high horse, man. It's ridiculous. Like I said, considering the fact that Annie was always a little white redheaded girl, what's the problem? That's like people that are currently reading the Captain America comics right now, where Falcon is Captain America. If Walmart was to open a Captain America collection and to show a model of a white Captain America, would that be considered racist? No, because everybody knows that Steve Rogers, a white man, was Captain America. And they know that's who they're referring to. Got nothing to do with being racist. Nothing to do with the movie. Just, it's Annie. Annie's supposed to be a white redhead girl, so let's get a white redhead girl. Nothing to do with the color. To make the movie better, you should have had a little white redhead girl adopted by a black man. That would have, if anything, that would have done a better job of crossing any racial barriers that people seem to keep setting up because of something as stupid as, here's our ad of a classic character. No enragement, no nothing. You should have had him. You should have had him bald. Wouldn't have had a problem with that. The little redhead girl, fine. If you would have made her white, that would have shut everybody up as far as the stupid bias about racism and race swapping or anything like that. And you sure as hell could have gotten a much better person to be Miss Hannigan. I was like, come on. It makes absolutely no sense. And to see, because I know people who are constantly they throw the race card around like you wouldn't believe. It's like, dude, this isn't the 60s, this isn't the 60s or the 70s, and it sure as hell isn't the South. You're in New York, where you're predominant, where minorities are predominant, and you're gonna keep throwing the race card around, dude. It's just ridiculous. It's like Morgan Freeman put it best. I'll stop being, you stop being a white man, I'll stop being a black man. We're just gonna be men. It's like, oh, but how do you stop racism? By stop talking about it. I'm done talking. You guys have a good night.